prayers.
Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just governance of humanity, we beseech you to look upon with your abundant favor these, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important trusts in this land. Let your blessing descend upon them here assembled, and grant that they may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under their deliberation, in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests you have committed to their charge.
Amen.
Amen.
Item number 2 on the order paper, communication from the chair.
Honourable members, I welcome you to the afternoon sitting, and I want to appeal to us to work expeditiously and complete the taxation bills, because I'm aware that some committees have not completed deliberations on the policy statements, so that perhaps you can go back and do that work. The second matter, and I'm glad the Ministry of Agriculture is working in, I was in Zombo on Saturday for the Women's Day, no, for one of Bika's function, and it was held at Zeu District Farm Institute. Now, the District Farm Institute is completely built. The classrooms, the staff accommodation, everything is there. But for the last 7 years, it has not been used. So, Zeu in the Zombo district. So I want to appeal to the government to ensure that the facilities are utilized. Our children can go and train there. It's a very good facility which needs to be utilized. Then last evening, after I left the house, I received a petition from gun owners who are complaining that they have been paying 160,000 shillings for a gun license, and that the government is proposing to raise it to 5 million shillings. So they were saying it's disproportionate, that they appreciate the needs of the security, but jumping from 160,000 to 5 million was hard. They didn't tell me which bill it is in, and because I've been busy, I've not had time to check, but I want the Committee on Finance to note that so that it can be addressed when we come to that issue. Can I ask Honorable Babala? Babala is not here. Honorable Mogo, you had something to raise? You want to say something? Yes. Honorable Ogwal. Is a cowboy? Okay, Honorable Ogwal wanted to say something. The gunman, eh?
Okay. One has refused. Right, Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you for making it personally to Zombo, and I want to inform members that I was also personally there to support our colleague. I think one of the things that this Parliament should be proud of is that we are walking the talk, in that the vision of Parliament now is to be a people-centered Parliament. And you might have observed that the Speaker has always been willing, and the Deputy Speaker has been willing to come and celebrate with the people every time we get an opportunity. And this time round, we have decided that when we get out, when the Speaker is out, she's able to see, and the Deputy Speaker is able to see what is on the ground. So that when we bring any petition, when we bring any issue in this Parliament, the Speaker is in a position to appreciate. In Zombo, not only did we observe that a farm institute was just abandoned, but we have observed that much as we have been told that the roads, the main roads which link with the neighboring countries are normally tarmac, the road between Zombo and Nebi is so bad. The Right Honorable Speaker, after coming back for 2 days, I could not stand straight. Of course, I know age has also had an impact. Age has also had an impact on my not standing straight. But definitely, the Zombo Road made it worse. So I want to plead with the members of the Committee on Infrastructure to lobby the Minister of Finance so that we really fix that road, the road between Nebi and Zombo. That area is very fertile. In fact, much as we are talking about farming and what have you, Zombo has got matoke, Zombo has got Irish potatoes, Zombo has got vegetables. It's a very, very fertile area, which for me, I was discovering it for the first time. So I think it is important that we must explore what we have and see how we can utilize what we have before we start sourcing outside. And one of the hindrances, of course, would have been the road. So even if we have food in Zombo, if we don't have the road fixed, we cannot transport the food to other parts of the country, which is actually suffering starvation. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I just want to add on to what you have said, that for the purpose of Zombo, we should deal with the Farm Institute and also not forget about the urgency of fixing that road between Zombo and Nebi. And of course, with Dokolo, our agricultural area also, that Olweng Rice Scheme, which falls under Ministry of Agriculture. That Olweng Rice Scheme has been talked about over and over and over, and nothing has been done about it. So these are some of the things. When you went for the Women's Day celebration, you all celebrated, and we were not allowed to tell you all our stories, but we should have told you that we needed Olweng Rice Scheme to be rehabilitated. I want to thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Okay, Honorable, maybe you listen.
Before you answer.
I think Honorable Katoto wanted something about the gun, quickly. The gun lobby.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Speaker. It's good that you've talked about the issue of the gun. It is originating somewhere. But, Madam Speaker, the police cannot provide to all of us the security. We are aware that there are some people who have illegal guns and they use it. But again, that one should not affect us who are holding our guns legally. Madam Speaker.
But are you now addressing the subject? I thought we should talk about...
No, Madam Speaker, what I'm about to tell you is that the ministry, so that we as a committee, maybe any committee of parliament would not accept that. They want to smuggle it through the statutory act instrument. So the Ministry of Finance should be aware that when they do that, we are going to question them because they want to smuggle it through the statutory what? Instrument.
It's not part of these bills?
Yes, it's not part of these bills, but they want to smuggle it through the statutory instrument. Okay. So, Madam Speaker, we should caution them not to do that because it is too much. And the police can't provide all security to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Katoto. Honorable Rubogo Musana, then Fungaro. 2 minutes, please.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm rising on the matter of national importance, and this pertains to payments to civil servants. Right Honorable Speaker, it is happening now that public service is effecting deductions of salaries of some public servants on grounds that they did not work on some days. What is happening in Kaliro today is that 127 civil servants public servants have been affected, and they have received half salary. The explanation is that they did not work for some days. Right Honorable Speaker, the public service standing orders have a disciplinary procedure of how you deal with such issues. Well, the motive might be right. I think procedure needs to be followed. Is it really right that somebody's salary must be deducted even when he has never been called or cautioned or been subjected to any form of disciplinary caution? So I think Minister of Public Service needs to come and explain how this is being effected and under which law, such that we can know. Otherwise, I think that a salary is something which should be the last to be affected if somebody is being subjected to disciplinary. I thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
So we shall ask the Minister for Public Service to give us a clarification of how that money was deducted. Honorable Eric Musana, then Honorable...
Procedure, Madam Speaker, procedure. Madam Speaker, thank you very much.
Yes, Honorable Nandal.
Madam Speaker, the procedure I'm raising, under the standing orders, because I was a civil servant, there is what we call attendance book. Under the attendance book, does two things. When you attend, they mark. There are those who do it overtime, they are paid overtime. And if Kaliro has started to implement the attendance book register, we must congratulate them and thank them for the good work they have done. So, Madam Speaker, is it procedure right for a honorable member of parliament who has been talking about service delivery here to come and complain when they have deducted the people who don't work? Is it procedure right?
Now, Honorable Member, at this material time, I don't know whether they did not work. That's why I want the Minister of Public Service to explain to us how did it happen. If they didn't work, we shall say, great, we are glad that your money was cut. Honorable Musana, then Fungaro, 2 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and honorable members.
Done.
It's good, Madam Speaker, you have mentioned about the issue of guns. I'm here to raise something very important. Today, Madam Speaker, in the wee hours of the morning, at 3:30 a.m., thugs armed with the guns and dressed in UPDF uniforms staged a roadblock along Kagadi Kibale Road and robbed the entire taxi, and they stripped naked all the passengers, and they took whatever belonged to them. There were heavy exchange of gunfire because these thugs had 2 guns and 2 pistols. They had the hammers and also had the toy guns. Over 80 passengers were affected by this, and the people of Kagadi are now in fear. Madam Speaker, we have a very big problem. Kagadi, Kibale, and the Kakumiro districts, they neighbor Congo. There is a very big problem because we have porous borders. There are a number of illegal guns. And now we have had another problem. These people have also UPDF uniforms. So we have experienced a very big problem in the area. Madam Speaker, we have another problem related to illegal guns. Last year, we lost a health worker who was gunned down in the middle of the town, or in the middle of Kagadi town. And up to now, we have not had any report about what happened.
Can we ask the Minister for Internal Affairs to pay attention to the security situation on the road, Kagadi, Chivale, and the surrounding areas, so that our people can travel safely? And other roads in Uganda. I now invite Fungaro, then Abala, then Nambeshe.
Yeah, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise on a matter of national importance on a similar matter related to security and to my operation as a member of parliament in my constituency. Right Honorable Speaker, it has become increasingly difficult for me as a member of parliament to organize and hold meetings, to consult my people, to inform them about what goes on here in parliament. This is due to the interference, threats from the security agencies, including the police, the UPDF, the GISOs, the RDCs, who have taken a role of protecting the Balalo land grabbers who are in Obongi, in Yumbe, and other parts of West Nile. Every meeting that we organize is portrayed as a meeting against the Balalo. The District Council of Moyo sat and passed a resolution, a District Council resolution on the 28th of February, giving the Balalo time to leave. Even during the District Council meeting, the council hall was surrounded by police until the councillors had to protest against the presence of the Balalo there. Then the DISO came out and ordered the police to go out from where they were. And imagine the DISO ordering the police. The DPC was even present. So it means the police are now under the control of the DISO. In Obongi, apart from that area of the council meeting, on the 4th of March, I had a meeting at Itula Sub-County headquarters. It was a physical planning meeting for the urban development of Itula. Because we have people coming up and there are many refugees there, we want people to build in an organized manner. The police were deployed there and the meeting was scattered. Elders organized the meeting, they were also scattered. On the 30th of March, as I was hurrying from Obongi to Kampala, I picked a flight from Arua airfield using Eagle Air. But because I had some things to talk to the press, I called the press and I wanted to give them a press briefing at the airfield, as I did before. I was stopped. But when I was told that I was supposed to get permission from Civil Aviation Authority, I should leave the airfield. I left the airfield. I still had time because the plane landed in Arua and went to Juba. So we went out of the airfield to organize the press conference. So, Madam Speaker, just a minute.
Thank you, brother.
No, I've not given you the way.
I want clarification from the Speaker.
I have not given you. Let me give you the information
Madam
first.
Speaker, can I know who are the Balalo in this Republic of Uganda?
Okay. Madam Speaker, Parliament of the Republic of Uganda on the 4th of September 2007 sat and discussed here on this floor of the House this matter of this, in quotes, I will define for you later, the people called Balalo. Also on the 15th of March 2012, here in Parliament, Parliament talked and made a select committee to probe the activities of the Balalo. On the 21st of March, Parliament tried. Madam Speaker, my question now is, apart from the work that I do as a member of Parliament being interfered with, where do we go next? If at the district level, a district council resolution is passed in Yumbe in 2011, up to date, the problem is not resolved. In Moyo, in Arua, the sub-county councils of Rhino Camp and Rigo did the same. In Nebi, 2014, where do we get the force? Where do we get the power which can resolve this problem of the Balalo? In Uganda. The Balalo are cattle keepers who move from place to place. They look like Banyarwanda. They are from Western Uganda. They are not Karamojo. They are not. They are people. I'm defining for you.
Point of order. Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Constitution is here, is very clear. It gives, on page 212, it gives the indigenous communities as listed as 1926. All these indigenous tribes are listed here in the Constitution of Uganda. In these indigenous tribes listed in this Constitution, there is no word called Balalo. Is the honorable member in order to confuse this parliament by bringing in a tribe, an indigenous tribe that does not exist within Uganda and in this Constitution?
Now, other members, maybe for your information, during different parliaments, complaints have been brought here about armed cattle keepers who are moving from place to place. Yes, I don't know. I think the word issued is armed cattle keepers because they work with guns. Yes. Please conclude.
Yes, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much. My controversy is not about the definition. It's not about the identity. It's about the activities and the tendency of using violence. They are armed. They move with guns. And there is this kind of impunity, Madam Speaker, impunity against the district local government. Where do we get the power to overcome these people? Because the army, the police, the RDCs now protect them. Obongi people are armless, they are powerless. The member of parliament is in danger. Where do we go next?
Honourable member, you are on a microphone. You are on a microphone. Can I again request the Minister for Internal Affairs to check what is happening in Obongi in relation to the armed cattle keepers and report this House. Honourable Abala, everywhere.
Yes, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker.
Okay, Honourable.
Yes, with your guidance to the Minister responsible for security.
Order, members.
I also heard Honourable Fungaru saying they are actually grabbing land. I come from the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, and I just wanted to request Honourable Fungaru to give us the ministry details of how they are grabbing land, because we have, yes, we have a comprehensive approach of handling land grabbers, and therefore, if you can interact with us, the Ministry of Lands, then we can see how to assist, because if they are illegally grabbing people's lands, then we can help and see how we can address it.
Okay, Honourable Abala. Abala, Nambeshe, Tayebwa.
Yeah, thanks so much, Madam Speaker. My name is David Abala. I am standing to raise a very important matter of public concern in Teso. In 1980s, there was cattle rustling in Teso. We lost the cows, we lost the goats and the property. The Teso took government to court and Attorney General was taken to court. And then the case was won by the people of Teso. Of course, they discussed out of court. Since that time, Madam Speaker, the Teso have not been paid. Now they are now asking, when are they going to be paid? That's why I'm requesting at this time. My prayer, Madam Speaker, is that I'm requesting the Minister of Justice, I'm requesting the Minister of Finance, I don't know which minister, to tell us to come and make a statement here so that we get to know what to do. But as we talk now, there is nothing which is clear. The matter was taken to court, and that's basically what I want to say. Thank you so much. Information is available.
Honourable, you know, I went to Serere for the Women's Day celebrations. And during that function, we were told that the case has not been concluded. That's what we were told when we were in Serere.
Madam Speaker,
yes.
There are basically 6 cases.
Oh.
The first one was won. And that one the government agreed and it was very clear. Now the other cases are actually ongoing. And the government knows which case is still on. At least I'm sure the case that are still running are actually here. The other one which was won, he has no problem with this.
But now you are saying this one. I don't know how the government will know which this one it is. You are saying there are 6 cases.
Now, Madam Speaker, allow me the best I could do now is actually to lay this document on table. Such that I am going to read. Now, Madam Speaker, I was saying in 1980s, that's all.
No,
okay,
just
let me read.
Just describe the document. The
document which is here is it's entitled "The Ruling on the Preliminary Points of Law." That is. I'm giving the information. The plaintiff here, Madam Speaker, we have Chen Julius and others versus the Attorney General. That is basically this document here. This is a case which is still ongoing. But the other one, which was one, in fact, Madam Speaker, I will give these details even by Monday. I thank you so much.
Honourable members, I think to assist the honourable member, we shall ask the Attorney General to give us an update on the overall compensation for TESO, so that we can know which of the cases is finished, which is not. Is that okay, honourable members? Yes, Honourable Moi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in the same vein, actually in Lango, also some groups have finished their case with the Attorney General, and they are equally waiting for when they are going to be compensated. When also there are other groups still struggling through the courts. So therefore, we request the Attorney General, when coming to clarify on this matter of compensation in TESO, he does also very well with Lango and Acholi, because we are very desperate. We have been pleading for the compensation for a long time, and we don't know really what's taking place. So that is the humble submission from Acholi and Lango, and therefore TESO. I don't know if the Minister of Finance is here. At one time I raised this on the floor, and he told us they were trying to put some money aside. I don't know how much has been put aside to address this compensation issue in TESO, Lango, and Acholi. Thank you very much.
But honourable members, I wish you could also be using the question system, because if you had maybe given out a question, perhaps now the minister will be coming to answer. I wish you could also use those channels of the questions for all answer. Yes, okay, Honorable Nambeshe, then Tayebwa.
Thank you.
And then Muyanja.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
2 minutes, please.
The matter of national importance I'm raising is to condemn in the strongest terms possible and denounce the procurement of the sexual lubricants that were procured at a whopping 3 billion Uganda shillings for homosexuals. And Madam Speaker, I would like to use this opportunity to applaud the Minister, the Honorable Sarah Opendi, who equally condemned in the strongest terms this procurement of lubricants for homosexuals. Madam Speaker, at a time when sanitary pads for our girls is a contentious issue, it has even culminated into the incarceration of Dr. Nyanzi. At a time when hunger is biting, crop failure and food shortage is an issue, should Uganda have spent 3 billion shillings to procure lubricants purportedly to cure the wounds that are caused by friction? So this is the prayer I'm making. The prayer I'm making is, Right Honorable Speaker, since the Minister has also realized the evil in this, because homosexuality is an illegality, is illegal in Uganda according to the Penal Code Act. Even without that act, the Anti-Homosexuality Act is still illegal. I would pray that the Minister furnishes this House with a statement detailing what transpired and the rationale that led to procuring these lubricants at a whopping 3 billion. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Minister is here. I hope that she'll be able to come and update the country on that issue. You want to say something, Honorable Pendi? Minister of State, Health.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, This matter came to my attention a week ago. We were equally surprised. I was very surprised. And we are following up the matter to get the details of how this came, because it did not go through the National Medical Stores. It was brought. We want to know who received it and who the recipients from there are. So we are investigating, Right Honorable Speaker. At an appropriate time, we shall come here with a statement. We'll come here with a statement, because even for the next round, there was about 28 billion earmarked for the same. Yes. So, Right Honorable Speaker, allow us to come here with a statement on the matter. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
We shall expect you. Honorable Tayebwa Zabwe, then Muyanja.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise up on a matter of national importance in regarding to our soldiers in Somalia. I have been contacted, Right Honorable Speaker, by some of our brothers and sisters in Somalia that they have gone 10 months without being paid. One of them has sent me a message here that we are bad off. Yuga Bag 17 worked for a full year and they were only paid 8 months on withdrawal in December. Yuga Bag 18 is withdrawing with only 5 months. Yuga Bag 19 has worked for 10 months, and paid 2. Soldiers sell their food to our counterparts so as to get airtime to raise their relatives. And is saying we are supplied with 2 juices, 20 apple fruits for 2 weeks, but we sell them to our Burundi counterparts in exchange for soap and airtime to raise our relatives at home. And the situation is extremely bad, Right Honorable Speaker. My prayer is that the minister responsible comes here and makes a statement on this matter, Right Honorable. I thank you.
Other members, our troops have done really a great job in pacifying this region. So I think that they should be supported. So I want to ask the Minister for Defense to come and update us on the issues raised by Honorable Tayebwa. Honorable Zabwe, and then Honorable Yanja.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I have a very crucial problem in my district. At this rate, by the year 2021, I don't think I'll have any voters on the island. The army on the lake right now, I don't know if the order they get, because when we ask them where they are getting their orders, they say the orders they get them from the president. So these orders, we don't know if they are supposed to kill my people or to get them and take them to prison or something. As I'm speaking right now, there's a case of Richard Kozala, who was beaten badly last night and is in a very critical condition. Anytime he can die. Right, Honorable Speaker? It is a very big problem. At least I have a witness, Honorable Minister Sempija. This month, we buried one of my men on the island, around the lake shores. It is terrible. At least every month, I bury someone. So, being beaten by the army on the lake. So, Honorable Right Speaker, I need answers, and we need to solve this problem. Thank you so much.
I don't know which minister would be responsible for that, because the fish belong to Honorable Sempija, the army belongs to Honorable Mwesije. Now I don't know. Maybe let's finish with the Muyanja, then you can answer the agriculture issues. Let's finish Honorable Muyanja, the last one. Then you can answer the agriculture issues.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Mine is a serious concern. Yesterday, the Honorable Minister for Disaster and Preparedness was here. In his statement, he was looking for 45 days to start harvesting. Right Honorable Speaker, what are we going to harvest when the army won't paste up to today, which the minister promised us here 3 weeks back, is not distributed in our areas. Our voters are on our neck. Right, Honorable Speaker, if you look at what is going to be on BBS television today, when they are covering the farmers in my area, you are going to see that almost hundreds and hundreds of acres are affected. We have tried our level best to know where should we go for the pest that can help us to kill, pesticide, whatever. Yes, to kill the armyworm. Our concern is still at a high cost. So, Right Honorable Speaker, since the Honorable Minister is here, when you got the suppliers,
No, but you raise your issue, it will be answered by the minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, the suppliers whom they were told that they are the one who having, whenever you go there, they are telling you it is out of stock. So what are we going to do in such a situation? I thank you.
Okay, so the last from Honorable Nabanja and Gutamoi, then the Minister of Agriculture will come in. Honorable Nabanja, Commissioner.
Thank you so much, Madam. Madam Speaker, I'm raising on a matter of national importance concerning our seats here as a women representative in this parliament. There are rumors in the papers across the country that our seats, including yours, Madam Speaker, are threatened. Madam Speaker.
Order.
Madam Speaker, I want you to remember in this same parliament, in the 9th parliament, interest groups like the youth, PWDs, and workers MPs in the 9th parliament suffered the same trend. They were only informed when court had already delivered the judgment. Madam Speaker, this has caused anxiety around the country. I want the Attorney General to inform us in time. Remember, he has already, sometimes he would consent on our behalf without our knowledge. Would consent judgment. Remember the number of judgments he has consented on our behalf here. Madam Speaker, I know that this matter can easily, the Attorney General can easily consent. And we lose people like you and me who are here. Madam Speaker, I request through you that the Attorney General comes here and briefs us of the steps, if any, so that we can know, to keep us informed all the time. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Okay, thank you very much, Commissioner Nabanja. We ask the Attorney General to come and inform the House whether there is a case and what it is about in relation to the election of the women representatives. Honorable Gutamoi, finally, and then the Minister Sempije.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm rising on a very important matter of national importance regarding Apache District Hospital. Madam Speaker, I passed through Apache District Hospital 5 days ago to realize that for a year now, there has been no power. And when I saw how expected mothers are suffering using torches and otherwise, you really can shed tears. I asked what was going on in the theater to find that the Umeme was allowed only the theater to operate using their power. And the thing is about a year now. Now the amount of money which the Umeme is demanding, the hospital cannot realize it. I really wonder if the people of Apache, and that is a district referral hospital, are not considered to be citizens of this country. I remember one time an issue of a university in Kabale was in a similar manner, but the government went in and helped with funds. Now, can this government do something for the people of Apache? And now, at night, you can't imagine the situation in the hospital. Thieves are also going to sleep there. Some thugs also go and line up for food. You cannot tell who is who. And actually the population is even high. Sometimes you don't know who is a staff and so on and so forth. So when I asked one lady who was nursing our wounds there, she told me that I think here we are supposed to die. We are not human beings. If we are human beings, our leaders have communicated to government several times. No action has been taken.
Honourable Member, I think what should be asking is urging the government to quickly pay the bill so that they get power. Now, Honourable Members, we have been proceeding under Rule 25(4) of our Rules of Procedure, where the first 1 hour is for the private member's business. Let me now invite the Minister to respond. But the Minister of Health should take into account Honourable Gutamoi's issue of Apache Hospital, 1 year without power. Yes, Honourable.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Allow me to thank you very much for visiting Zombo district, but also noting that the DFI there is not yet in use. Right Honourable, we are going to look into this matter and coordinate with the local government of Zombo to see that they will DFI go into operation. Right Honourable, that zone, even including Zombo, is a very, very fertile area, and we really need to improve on agriculture in the area. I've been there, I've been in Koboko. I've not reached Zombo yet, but I was in Koboko and Arua and Maracha. Next time I go back, I will reach Zombo, Jumani, and the others in the area. We are implementing. Okay.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker and the Minister. I wanted to get clarification on the DFI of Gulu. You remember the land was given away to Gulu University, and there was another land given for construction of DFI. Is it in the offing?
So, Right Honourable, we are, and the members, we are in this area, West Nile. We are trying to introduce coffee and tea in Zombo, and we have also worked with some farmers, and we have found out that even bananas, the bananas, matoke, do well in this area, and our model farms have proved this right. Therefore, the DFI is very, very pertinent. So, Right Honourable, you are quite, your remarks are taken very, very seriously. So, and we shall take them very seriously to see that the ZEU DFI become operational. The other one, of course, DFI is supposed to be handled by or run by the districts. But what we do these days, Right Honourable, as many of you know, we attach them to narrow, and sometimes the district cannot run them alone. So the same way we are going to do something about this. So, now the issue of the fall armyworm. Right Honorable Speaker, government accepted to release 4.2 billion to buy chemicals, call them pesticides, to handle this pest. Unfortunately, we bought 2,500 liters, and the stores of the agents of these pesticides ran out. They are dry. The money is there. So now government has decided to order straight from the manufacturers in India and China, and in 2 weeks, the pesticides, we shall have enough volumes. We have ordered for 60,000 liters. But in between, because of the mobilization that has taken place, all the pesticides with the dealers were bought by the farmers.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I hope I heard you well when you were saying you went to somebody's shop and bought all the stock. Did you really follow the procedures of PPDA, or you went to a shop and just shopped and the shop had very few or lacked and the other shops didn't have?
No, this was an emergency, and
Thank you very much,
Honorable
Honorable
Oshaba,
Minister.
then Honorable Bintu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, I'm aware that you know that the armyworm, to clear a 10 acres piece of land for maize, it takes it about 2 days. Yes, yes, in hours. The entire garden will be done. I'm coming from Kasanda. We are the major farmers in this country of maize. And these days I'm even fearing going there. Whenever farmers see me, they say government promised us pesticide. Where is it? So they think whenever I arrive there, I've taken the pesticide. But Honorable Minister, you're saying within about 2-3 weeks, we will have the pesticide. I'm just wondering whether by the time the pesticides come, they will serve the purpose.
Okay, Honorable Jalia, very quickly, and Honorable.
Thank you, Madam.
Very quickly. We need to go to do other
Madam
work.
Speaker, the issue of armyworms, it's an emergent issue. In other countries, when they have such outbreaks, the government would have even gotten a helicopter to spray. But when the Honorable Minister tells us that they are going to wait for 2 weeks, I'm a farmer, a commercial farmer. Madam Speaker, if you can visit the farmers in this country, especially maize farmers, the armyworm, you'll find the whole acreage infected. And even when you start spraying, this hand spraying, you may not be able to get rid of the entire thing. So when the minister tells us that we are going to wait for 2 weeks, Honorable Minister, really, let's be serious. When we had the foot and mouth disease outbreak here, we handled it as an emergent issue, and we even passed a supplementary here. What is difficult with the minister and the government even chartering a plane to go and buy and bring the parasites here so that we can spray? Honorable Speaker, really, we need to be serious. The eastern region and northern region, they are still suffering. These areas which have got rains, we expected them to produce and boost and be able to handle. Now, when the Honorable Minister tells us 2 weeks, 2 weeks actually, Madam Speaker, if we are to wait for 2 weeks, we would rather not purchase. And we just leave it to God. Whatever comes out, that's what we shall depend on. But I am so surprised that we are handling this issue as if it's just a buy. Yeah.
Okay, Honorable Kahunde, quickly. Honorable Kahunde, quickly.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable.
You brought the issue, it's okay. Quickly.
I'm seeking also clarification from the minister. I want the Honorable Minister to tell us the distribution plan and whether this pesticide is going to be given to farmers directly. At the moment, whatever pesticide was given out through Operation Creation, for example, Jiandongo district received 90 liters. Is the 90 liters for demonstration purposes? Is it for distribution to all the farmers? What is it for?
Okay, Honourable Minister, please use 5 minutes. We have to go to do some other work. Minister of Agriculture, please answer and don't take any more clarifications for now.
Right, Honorable Speaker, the Chiliandongo 90 liters were for demonstration purposes. Why? Because we had to educate the farmers on how to use the chemicals and even knowledge. Right, Honorable Speaker, the problem of resistance of some of these pests to drugs comes from the mismanagement of the drugs themselves. So we had to, first of all, send chemicals to all the districts that were affected to demonstrate to them and educate them on how to use these chemicals.
Clarification, Honorable Minister. Madam Speaker, I think as Parliament, if I listen very carefully the statement or the response from the Minister, you can clearly see the Minister has almost no problem. Because the Minister was asking for money. And he has told us here, he received 4 billion, probably a week or 2 weeks ago. Now, if the Minister of Agriculture received the 4 billion in such a short period of time, how could the Minister, within that period of time, be able to acquire this? I think the problem that we must face as Parliament, it is that failure to accord Agricultural Ministry the due attention that this country requires, such that the Minister will respond according to time. That's where the problem is. And in the situation where we are, we would be finding, because I imagine even the PPDA could be tying the hands of the Minister over procurement of these drugs, chemicals, caricides. We would be trying to find out how best the Minister can try to maneuver, knowing very well the fault that we are facing is arising from the failure of government to appropriate enough resources in the production sector. And that is where we would have put much attention.
We shall do that debate when we are doing the policy statements.
Thank you.
You battle there, raise it hard and fight hard.
Yeah, right, Honorable.
Minister, please close.
I want to inform the
worms
members
and the fish
that after this mobilization that has been done and the sensitization, the farmers really bought all the pesticides. We found out from the dealers, and we added the totals. Farmers have bought 300,000 liters, and the agencies, now the agents have nothing. So what we did is to contact the manufacturers, and the 60,000 liters ordered by government will be coming in 2 weeks. This is a type of chemicals that cannot be shipped on planes. It's not allowed internationally. It must come by ship. So there is nothing we can do.
Information,
Meantime,
Honourable Minister.
No, Mr.
Thank you very much for giving me the way. Honourable Minister, actually, you have communicated that the farmers were sensitized and they bought off all the drugs, all the pesticides. But actually, the information I want to give you is that it is not farmers who actually bought off all these drugs. After traders noticing that we were in the process of approving some money for government to purchase these drugs, speculators bought off all these drugs and they have them ready to sell back to government once you are ready to buy. So the drugs are there, but with speculators.
Okay, Honourable Minister, please.
Right, Honourable
please wind
Speaker,
up. Yes.
I'm aware about this problem. The last time we contacted one of the agents here, we knew from Maraba the amount of chemicals he had brought in, because they have to be, they must be cleared at the border. We knew he had brought 2,500 liters, but he said he had 5,000 liters. So we said, now we are going to go into these problems of fake drugs. That's why we have decided to contact the manufacturers so that we bring the right drug. Fight against the fall armyworm is not likely to end with this season. We are going to continue fighting it through the next season, but we are also going to use research. Research is is almost giving us a different answer to this problem. I think they are finding out how they can fight the pest biologically. So, Right Honourable, I hope one time we shall stand here to declare success in this. But otherwise, we are waiting for the drugs that are coming in.
Yeah, no, Minister, please answer on the fish. We need to go to the next item.
Now the fish
and the army.
The fish, Right Honourable Speaker, I have to investigate the issue of the cause of death for Richard Kozara. But for the other one who died in Mayuge, I went there. In fact, we attended the burial with the Honourable member, the woman member of Parliament for Mayuge. And even then, the cause of death of this young man was not as a result of the enforcement team under Maif, or these soldiers that we are using to enforce. We have a UPDF unit which is assisting us to enforce the fisheries laws. It was not part of the problem was not caused by them. It was a police operation which still we are investigating. But the ones who are operating were policemen, not soldiers. So this Kozara case, it's new to me here. I'm going to send or contact IGP and contact the UPDF unit to find out what caused the death of Kozara. Otherwise, we really emphasize discipline among the people who are operating on the lakes, especially the enforcers, so that they don't again go against the laws of Uganda. Thank you, Right Honourable.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable members, we shall now go to item 3.
Item 3 on the order paper.
Yesterday, a report was presented to this House, but members felt they wanted to reflect on it before they discuss it. So we shall use 45 minutes on that matter. But before we start, I wanted to inform you that the Corporate League will hold its outing on Sunday, April 30th at Kyambogo University Sports Ground. The Parliament of Uganda team will compete in football and pool. This is good for your physical fitness, so I invite the members to go to Kyambogo University Sports Ground at 9 a.m. on Sunday, 30th April for the Corporate League, National Corporate League. Thank you. Contributions? Guidance, Madam Speaker. Minister? Guidance, Madam. On what?
Madam Speaker, I raised the matter of national importance here. Do we just leave it like that?
But what have you? I think I asked the government to come and give a report on the problem of the cattle keepers.
But now I cannot operate even today if I go to hold a meeting there. How do you help me here as a member of parliament? Because the army, the police will be deployed against me. They are misusing the Public Order Management Act even when you have a meeting in your house with the people they say you are talking about Balalo. And they send the police, the army. What do we do? Should we just leave Obongi for them and we go somewhere? What do we do really?
Let the Minister of Internal Affairs come with a statement on Tuesday concerning the cattle keepers with guns in Obongi and the other areas. Contributions on the tourism report. Honorable Adong, Honorable Nakabirwa, Nambesha Eric, and then Oshaba. Exactly 45 minutes, so let's just use 2 minutes each.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank the Committee of Tourism for the report that they have given. Madam Speaker, the committee have really highlighted, or they are really well researched and reported on issues that are affecting not only traders but Ugandans as a whole. Madam Speaker, the economy is doing very bad because of the policies that government is taking that is edging out Ugandans in all the businesses. If at all they are, then very few. Madam Speaker, for the last 12 years almost, Uganda Investment Authority have been issuing licenses to investors. But with all the complaints coming around every year, we haven't had any one license that has been revoked. Not even one. And yet the traders, the foreigners that come here, shift from one business to another one to another one. We have never had. So can we really have a comprehensive report also on Uganda Investment Authority, how they are carrying out their work? Secondly, Madam Speaker, when you look at even the policy of Bubu, build Uganda, buy Uganda, build Uganda. Madam Speaker, we are training, I'm challenging, we are training many youth in skills, but there is no market for these skills. We are training them in furniture making, garment cutting, and the rest, and we are sinking a lot of money through means of education. But are we there to buy, even government? Look at government offices. Through procurement, we are getting companies from outside, they are buying furniture from outside, things that could be manufactured from here. And there's no policy stopping importation of such, or we have to ring fence certain businesses for Ugandans so that we can spread jobs. The jobs that are being created is not really even Ugandans getting it. Madam Speaker, you rightly said yesterday, in some countries, when investors are brought to the country, one of the conditions is to give them the percentage of, or the number of workers that have to be recruited from the nationals. We need this report from Uganda Investment Authority, Madam Speaker. The economy is doing badly because Ugandans cannot do trade. Madam Speaker, we've been lamenting here and again and again.
Okay, Honorable Nambeshe, Oshaba, then
thank you.
Nambeshe Nakabirwa. Okay.
I also join colleagues to appreciate the committee for the good report. Foreigners who come here masquerading as investors to do manufacturing, construction, and real estate, and end up diverting into wholesale, and retail trade are responsible for the mass unemployment that our citizens of Uganda are going through. And again, dollarization of rent is a serious issue, Madam Speaker. Because if we require landlords to charge tenants in dollars, this has a very adverse effect on our currency. The depreciation of the shilling is because of this. But also another effect, disastrous one, is that of our tenants, Ugandans, failing to pay, because paying in dollars would be going an extra mile, actually a notch higher, which is quite impossible. And that's why you find in most shops, there are so many people, about 20 in a shop that is supposed to be actually rented by one person, just because of affordability of the dollar. They have run out of business, and that's why we find Ugandans are just in the streets when the foreigners are doing. Can you imagine even barber shops? There are barber shops that have been opened by the so-called investors. So the question that floods my mind is the Uganda Investment Authority in charge. They are the ones who are giving these permits, licenses. Why can't they revoke some of these licenses now that they have known?
Nankabiro, then Musana Okot,
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I remember one time when the Natural Resources Committee was examining witnesses. I remember we have asked the Uganda Investment Authority question. What happens to many of these investors, the companies that they license for a certain business, and they end up picking up a different one? Do they do the monitoring? The Investment Authority really truly said and agreed that they do not take up, they have no capacity to do the monitoring. We would propose that the Uganda Investment Authority would open up a monitoring department to the people they have issued investment licenses. Why? Because sometimes the country has done bilateral agreements with the countries where they are coming from. In so doing, they do benefit in incentives, tax incentives. They do get exemptions. They come and we give them land and so forth. At the end of the day, they change and the country loses. So we need to do the monitoring so that at every particular period as assigned by Parliament, we do get reports on how many have been licensed, investment licenses have been given out, and the modes of operation. Madam Speaker, last week...
Procedure. Procedure, I'm rising on a matter of procedure.
Yes, Honorable Nagai.
Yes, Madam Speaker, we are debating a very pertinent issue that was deferred yesterday, and the country is awaiting the response from the Minister of Trade. Is it procedurally right for us to continue when the Minister of Trade is not around?
It seems we are talking to ourselves. Now, Right Honourable Prime Minister, this matter is something we have been wanting to discuss since August. There is a restive mood in the population over this issue. It's really important that we address it to the satisfaction of the population. So I don't know, Prime Minister, where are your ministers? Today is a sitting day, and they know it. And there's no cabinet, that one I know. Prime Minister.
Madam Speaker, I've always said it will be expecting a miracle from me to know where my ministers are. Of course, I don't think I've report always. I don't have a register for movement of the ministers.
Order.
So, Madam Speaker, what I...
Order, Madam Speaker.
Point of order.
Order, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I presume and I know that the first Deputy Prime Minister is aware of his roles as a leader of government business. And I don't think there is any other person in this House that should have been responsible to tell us where the ministers are. Is it in order for the Prime Minister to tell us it will be a miracle for you to expect him to know? Is it in order?
The Prime Minister is supposed to be in charge. And he's the leader of government business in this House. So he's expected to know where the ministers are. Or at least to manage their coming here. Hmm?
Madam Speaker, I don't know what I could tell you, but what I also know is the committee is full-fledged. If you go now around the committee rooms, you'll find the ministers are there, even the members opposite are there. You can see there are very few. Do we know where they are? So I think we can ask, Madam Speaker, as usual, you can direct us for a statement that we'll be able to bring it. But right now, I will not be able to know where the ministers are, and to ask them to come, it will be also difficult. But if I don't know where the ministers are, doesn't mean I'm not in charge. I'm in charge even on the whole House, because even the opposition, yes, even including the leader of opposition, because they are shadow leaders anyway. So, Madam, I pray that let us ask our side to bring statement on this matter. Then after that, we shall be able to debate. I pray.
I don't know what statement they can give. Yesterday, the minister was here. She said that they have got a cabinet subcommittee, but we said, well, let's debate the report because it's already here. There's no statement. So I think we have to defy it. You know, I think we have to defy it. Honorable Chair.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, rightly as you have said, this report was presented in the presence of the minister. And from her behavior here yesterday, it was clear that she needed to respond to the issues that have been raised in this report. I think for us to continue debating ourselves in her absence is not right. So I would pray, Right Honourable Speaker, that you direct that the minister comes to this House.
Honorable Chair, clarification. I want to be clarified. When the minister, Madam Speaker, came here yesterday, she was not ready to respond. Actually, she wanted to water down. She was not intending, actually, to be part of the discussion. She wanted to refer us to some other activity they were carrying out as a ministry and cabinet. She was dodging. So, Madam Speaker, I think procedurally, I think your office should clamp down on the minister for disrespecting the plight of Ugandans, even when there is a report on the floor of the House, there is urgency, there are strikes in Kampala, people are agitated. So I don't know why she does not want to take this matter seriously. I want to be clarified whether it is, procedurally or the precedent in this House for ministers to disregard important issues and reports of committees. And as a member of the committee, I am distressed that that is the pattern she has had with us in the committee over that matter. We have so many issues.
Okay. Honour members, you know, I wish government would take the concerns of people seriously. It is the interest of the government to have this matter resolved. Otherwise, it can run out of hand. So I'm directing the Minister for Trade to come to this House. Let us adjourn for now, and she comes. Let's go to the next item.
Item number 4.
Item 4.
Item number 4 on the order paper. Bill's second reading. The Lotteries and Gaming Amendment Bill 25.
Minister of Finance, we had partially handled this matter yesterday. Okay, let's defy it. Can I invite Honorable Ramirama to respond to the issues of Somalia? The Minister of State for Defense. And then we can go to the next item, which is the finance bill, I think, income tax. Income tax amendment, but the same mover is not there.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable colleagues, it is true that our troops in Somali have not got the allowances from October to date.
Members, this is important for our citizens. Yes, Honourable Minister.
It is true that our troops in Somali have not got the allowances from October to March. And this is because the EU, which is the one contributing the money, has not passed it on. However, their local salaries are going to their accounts, yes, and their families are getting the money. When this money comes, we shall pass it over to the soldiers. That is, we are very much aware, and we are engaging EU and AU to make sure that the allowances are paid.
Right Honourable Speaker, the clarification I'm seeking is, I'm told soldiers from other countries who are in Somalia are getting their allowances. And yet, by the same people who are there, Honorable Kutesa, you're here, you're enjoying here, your sons and daughters are suffering in Somalia. So we need to be serious on these matters. Right Honorable Speaker, the soldiers of Burundi are receiving their allowances. Our soldiers are telling us they are selling their soap and juice to the soldiers of Burundi to get something to eat, to get some airtime to call their people. How come for them they are paid, ours are not paid? I think, Right Honorable, we shall need even a full statement over this matter.
Okay, Minister, okay, please conclude.
Madam Speaker, I don't know that the other troops are being paid and ours are not being paid. But the truth of the matter is that they have not transferred the money. And this has been ongoing, and we are engaging EU. It's a fact. But also members should know that Uganda is contributing the largest contingent. And what I'm telling you is the truth and the truth. Whether these people have received the allowances, I don't know. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Okay, honourable members, I think I must express my disappointment with the government. I called this House yesterday so that we could facilitate the budget process by handling the tax bills. But the owners of the bills are not here. So I want to adjourn the House sine die.
Yes. That's right. That is right. There's no seriousness.